If we bet on Sam Houston State today, whether it wins the squad route or not, but if we bet on Sam Houston State today and they don't cover and they don't win, I will buy a Sam Houston State jersey and wear it for a week on stream, looking like a fucking idiot. Yeah, he's a moose shit coach. He's a terrible coach. Get Ron Rivera out of here. I'm not even saying to hand the keys over to Bahenemy yet. All I'm saying is this is not our head coach. This is not a winner. This is not our guy. Listen up. All right, take a little mental screenshot of this one. Ravens laying 3. Come on, it's got to be Baltimore must play here. They're winning this game big. It's going to be an under game. They're going to be running the shit out of the ball, and they're going to win this game by 5+, maybe 10+. I mean, if you have to listen to Jameis Winston for advice on the sidelines during a game, that's probably when you got to hang him up and maybe go with a different game plan here, Javon, because if he's seeing something that Derek Carr and the coach aren't, that's an issue to me.
That's just Jimmy Butler activities, man. I just don't know if I can click a square and just say, you know what? I'm going to go to the grave with Jimmy Butler today when I see that cut, that profile.
I'm watching them rock down. Brand new bag for pro, but I didn't pay for it. I don't like spending that cash. cause I'm trying to savor it.
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL episode 347 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Javon, presented by Pickett Sports. If you guys aren't using Pickett Sports to track your bets, track your action, find out the winners, see what Trent's on so you can fade it, what are you doing? Do you live under a rock? Go check out Pickett Sports. Best UI UX out there by far on the App Store and Google Play to track your action. Go check it out. I promise once you do, you're not going to want to leave. All right, Pickett's kind of fire low K. All right, chat. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Javon, it was never the Dolphins, man. Ever.
Lemoyne, man.
Ever. It was never Lemoyne. I mean, they were talking about Lemoyne during that game a little bit. Apparently, they came out for warm-ups acting like they've never played a basketball game before, like they were in awe in Capital One playing in that arena. Apparently, they were only just jacking threes the entire warm-ups. And they came out, turning the ball over. And it was never the Lemoyne Dolphins. That was a moose shit wager, chat. That's on me. That's on me. Awful bad.
We get those. We get some of those.
They happen. They do. Javon, let's do the W recaps from yesterday. Most importantly, we got a squad ride W, folks. Let's go. We got Creighton, who looked unbelievable last night, Javon. I mean, they balled out. Look at you over there. No red gobs. For any of your plays, we take that. We move.
We take those all day. Keeps food on table and puts it there. So yeah, Creighton looked great. FAMU is also actual snail shit. So that pays there. And that Auburn Baylor game was awesome.
Yeah, that game stunk. I hated that game. I hate everything about it. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Entertaining, sure. Physical, yeah. Two freshmen balling in that game, Javon, but I mean, death taxes and Auburn melted on the road. And we got another one last night. Oh, classic. Brutal. Classic, Javon. And then, yeah, it was never the Anteaters on the road moving to -4. We still don't know why. Who set that line? I want to see you in my office. Who set that line? Who moved that line to -4? I want to see you in my office. What the hell is going on? Okay.
Yep.
Javon, we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep grooving. We don't have time. Okay. Get that shit out of here, Goots. Get that Lemoyne score out of my head. Okay, it's already in there enough. Don't need to see it anymore. Let's keep moving and grooving. We got Ciroc coming in hot with a sub bang. 2 months, need Krabs back on the heater, please. Ciroc, you know how I roll, bro. Streaky's better out there. Either the coldest horse better ever 1 week or the best better on earth the next week. We're moving, we're grooving, we'll bounce back. We got Ron Mux Clam coming in hot with a subby. Let's go, Ron. W's Ron. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right. Javon, how about that Creighton Blue Jays, man? They freaking balled last night. I mean, 18 for 28 from 3. Absolutely incredible performance from the Blue Jays. I mean, they were unconscious. Your freaking guy, Ashworth, the transfer from Utah State, Javon, absolutely balled last night. Hilarious to see him out there. Picked up like he never left. Absolutely balling. It was cashing from 3. I think he went 5 for 7 from 3 last night, Javon. W play.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Stephen Ashworth. That's my guy. Love to see him doing great things. He was a little, I don't want to say inconsistent at Utah State, but it wasn't the same system, I think. I mean, obviously a better system, better players around him at Creighton, but I think something that fits him a lot better. So if he's there shooting like this and facilitating the offense like this, I mean, they're already scary without him, and they're certainly going to be a big problem, with him. So I'm excited to see him play in the Big East all year.
Yeah, dude. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for this kid. I guess it's probably his senior year. His last season in college basketball. I feel like he's been around for a while. He balled last night. I feel like watching that game, I know they were playing Florida A&M or whatever, but, I mean, it was like watching an NBA team play a high school team. It was just like 5 dudes who were taller, bigger, faster, stronger, better, and they were just shooting over people on the three-point arc and making shots. Unbelievable performance, putting up a 105 piece. Shout out Creighton. That spread was free, chat. That's why we lock in for the squad rides. Great vote. Great pick. You click the right button once again, chat. Let's keep moving and grooving. Let's keep fucking winning squad rides. Why not us? Krabs just watched the Hal presser today. They asked him what stadium. Bro, you don't think I already know that? I sent that tweet in my group chat 20 minutes ago, about a minute after that tweet went out. That made my day.
You're going to screenshot that and put on your lock screen.
Frame that, put that on the fridge like Trent does with his 6 pieces on prospects. Because that was maybe some of the only positivity coming out of that program. Nice to hear Sam Howell say the loudest atmosphere he's ever played in his football career was in Blacksburg. W's. Love to see it. All right, let's move, Javon. you mentioned Auburn a little bit. Holy fuck, I can't even talk. Excuse me. Jesus. You mentioned Auburn a little bit earlier, Javon. You went with the sharp pick there with the over. I got left in the dust with Auburn plus 1.5. I'm pissed. Goots, roll the freaking clip. Absolutely insane intro. Shout out our guy Grins, W. Shout out Land of the Lost. Great movie. Will Ferrell, the goats. Guys, but I'm pissed. I'm not happy right now. Fuck that intro. Auburn, are you kidding me last night? They're winning the entire fucking game. They're up 9 points at half. Everyone's talking about Bruce Pearl never losing in a season opener. Yeah, I fucking bet, Bruce Pearl. You just got your lunch money taken by Jacoby Walter, who just turned into fucking Kobe Bryant last night. The freshman balled out, was unstoppable, and they couldn't get a single body on this kid, Javon, in his freaking college debut. Zero nerves from Jacoby Walter. Zero. Zip. That kid stole Bruce Pearl's lunch money, and he absolutely dominated the Auburn Tigers. What a joke Auburn is. And what a joke Janai Broome is for forgetting how to play basketball for the last 5 minutes of that game after an unbelievable first 35 minutes. He blew it. He ruined it. All that work, those 2 threes he hit that were cool and he celebrated like he was in the NBA, all worthless. And so are you, Janai Broome, after that melt piece. Looks like Auburn didn't deserve to be ranked preseason. They showed that last night. Baylor Bears coming through. Yeah, Bruce Pearl undefeated in his freaking season debuts, Javon. I bet, dude. I bet. If I saw that stat one more time, I was about to lose my fucking mind. Collapse. Melt. 2 words, melt. Hate to say it. Auburn stinks. They stink. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's been one game, but we were talking about this yesterday. Best player on the Baylor Bears just might be the 5-star freshman, Jacoby Walter. He is a bucket. So I am glad to be standing on that take because he torched them yesterday. It was incredible watching him play. Just
I mean, Jalen Williams, you ever play defense before? You ever cover someone? Or you just play offense, buddy? You think you're Jalen Williams in the NBA from Santa Clara? You're not. You're way worse, and you can't play any defense. I mean, talk about getting torched.
Struggling.
But I mean, Auburn got absolutely dominated, Javon, in that last 4 minutes. It was like a switch flipped, and the game was over. It was like a completely new game we were watching after Auburn was winning and playing well the whole game.
Yeah, I mean,
Baylor is so well coached, man.
Baylor, they're going to be a team just like last year. I think they're going to be a team with a bunch of runs just because of the way they play. Like their overs are going to print again this season, partially because they have incredible guard play, year in, year out. Jacoby Walter's young, unlike they've had the last couple of years. Like they had Adam Flagler, LJ Cryer last year, which are more veteran guys, but at every level. And they play so fast. The defense isn't incredible. So that's kind of how they have to play. So, they're going to go on a bunch of runs. So, expect that in the Big 12 season. And I guess we'll talk about that in a little bit. But their overs are going to print, and they're going to be a fun team to watch.
Sure. Yes, they are. Very well coached. Do not sleep on the Baylor Bears. They might have lost some guys, but they've reloaded. And I'd take them over Auburn right now, without a doubt. Not even close. Not impressed with Auburn. Not impressed with Janai Broome there collapsing towards the end of that game. Never Auburn. Was never Auburn. Should have known when everybody on earth bet him last night. Yeah. Everyone on earth. Very how about the Mount last night covering? Got to shout them out. Got to shout them out. So much heart. I don't know how they did it. My pops was in attendance. He had a hell of a time. I'm sure he was happy to see the Mountaineers cover last night at Maryland.
Of course
W's. Good teams win. Great teams cover, Javon. As we get a handyman AL subby, love to see it. Crab is my daddy. Sure. Okay. I'll let that one slide on the rug because he sub-banged, but somebody might need to look into that one. We got Len Bong giving out 3 subbies. Let's go, Len Bong. People forget we do it all for you. Good to see you, my man. W's. Can we get some W's in chat for Len Bong? I feel like he doesn't get the respect he deserves.
It's facts.
All right, Chad. He's in here every day giving out subbies left and right. Let's get some W's for Len Bong, and let's keep moving and grooving, Javon. We got a lot to cover today. We're going to do ACC and Big 12 college basketball previews here shortly. We'll do some college basketball talk for the games today, Javon. There's a couple that are piquing my interest, and we've got some action as well. Don't sleep on the action. And if you've got any, hockey or NBA plays as well, we can go over those towards the end. But we've got a full loaded slate today, chat. No time for fun, no time for jokes. Let's dive right in to the ACC and Big 12 previews. We'll start with the best conference in basketball, the ACC, the GOATs. Maybe not the best conference in basketball this year, but historically the GOATs. Interesting conference this year, Javon. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on. We got Shire bringing in an unbelievable recruiting class once again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Duke is in a better spot now without Coach K being their coach. It was just time for him to hang him up. Not saying he's not the GOAT. He is, but it was time for him to pass the keys off to a younger guy who can relate more to the players. And Shire's done a way better job getting these recruits coming in. I mean, they've had 2 better recruiting classes in the last 2 years than I've seen Coach K get besides that Zion year in the last 5 or 10 years. So Duke keeps moving and grooving. Looks like the boosters are still heavily invested in Duke's success because even with Coach K leaving, Duke is loaded once again this season. And then you look at UNC, Javon, after a melt last season. Hubert Davis, people are starting to ask Hughes, is this guy legit? Is he a good coach? Did he deserve that credit after his great first season? I don't know, but he does get Amanda Baycott back and RJ Davis, along with a couple other dudes. Interest in ACC this season. I mean, Duke is definitely, the shortest odds to win the ACC, and they probably should. And then you got teams like Miami, UNC, and UVA kind of hanging around there in the next tier, but it's probably got to be Duke. Giovanna, we can go over our winners for this conference. I'll let you start since you did take the Blue Devils. What do you like about them this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the more interesting roster constructions they've had in the past couple of years, Coach K or not. So I really like all the pieces they brought in, and I think this is going to be a season like everybody loves Duke this season, and it's no secret why. I think they're going to get challenged like pretty early on in the season, like obviously starting this weekend. You start the Arizona, and then Michigan State back-to-back games. They have a really tough rest of their non-conference with Arkansas and Baylor, I think, in there as well. But once you get into the ACC play, like I love the team, but I also love the scheduling spots that they're in. The only ranked team they're going to have to see twice, as of now, is UNC, because that's the one you see every single season. They don't have to go in too many tough road games. They really don't have many of these teams like a Miami. You're only going to see them once. It is in Miami, but same story with a lot of the other, sleeper teams like Clemson, who I'm also high on, and you are as well. They only have to see them once. So, I think if we're talking about scheduling wise, I think it sets up really well for Duke, even if they struggle a little bit out of the gate, for them to kind of get going throughout the ACC season. So, as much as I don't want to just stick with the favorite for the purposes of sticking with the favorite that everybody likes, I think it is Duke, even if they have some
plus 130 for a reason.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be easy, but growing pains and they get it together.
Never is with Duke, right? I'm sure they'll have a terrible loss at home that nobody expects at some point this year, and everybody says the season's over. I'm sure they'll have a crazy upset after a bad week, and everyone's saying Duke is back, the best team in the country. We know that's how it goes with Duke every single season. Not expecting anything different this year. I'm going with Miami, Javon, to win the ACC at plus 550. I think I learned my lesson last year, fading this team, and I'm not too happy to see you have them in your overrated category down there. Excited to hear your points there. But as soon as I hop on the Miami train, I guess you're hopping off, which might be smart. But I'll tell you what, this Miami team might not have the depth they had last season, Javon, but they still have the guys. I'm not worried about it. And they still have Jim Larinaga, and they still have one of the richest NIL programs in college basketball. For the last 2 years, these kids are getting paid, and that's how they're getting the best talent. It's not really rocket science, guys, and it's going to continue to work. And they've got Nigel Pack back, which is huge. They've got Wooga Poplar, who I'm going to talk about in a moment. Don't want to spoil it, but I think he's going to be one of the best, if not the best player in the ACC this season, coming out of nowhere. You guys are going to really know a lot about Wooga Poplar, and he had a great first game. But I'll tell you what, dude, they get Matthew Cleveland coming in from Florida State as well, and they got Norchad Omier holding down the paint. They don't have the depth, okay, but the starting lineup looks pretty darn good to me, Javon. And at the end of the day, that is the most important thing in these conference tournaments when these guys are playing only 5 or 6 dudes at times. It's got to be, the offense run through Nigel Pack, who's a beast, and then Poplar, mid-range type, and he can also extend and shoot from deep. And then Omier is going to be holding it down, the anchor for Miami this season. I think he's one of the best big man, if not the best big man in the ACC, even over Bacot. I love me some Norchad Omier. This kid's a stud, and Miami under Larinaga is going to be very good once again this season. Do not sleep on the Hurricanes. Still getting no respect by the odds makers. I think they should be up there, with Duke as the best chance to win this conference. And I think there's serious value at plus 550.
Yeah. I mean, I think they are. I'm not going to come over here and say Miami's not a good team, because they're going to be a pretty good team. But the one problem with them, which, yes, depth is also a part of this, but I don't think they have the size to overcome a lot of these teams. When I look in the ACC specifically, a lot of these teams, like even a sleeper team / player, like I have Quentin Post down at the bottom. Like you go through UNC, they obviously have Armando Baycott. You go through a lot of the good teams of this conference. a lot of them dominate from the inside out. And yes, they added Matthew Cleveland, which was huge. But once you especially get into that second unit, I don't think they have the size, and they have a lot of small guards. So like I love Nigel Pack and Wooga Poplar, especially like you're talking about. But I think matchup wise, it's going to cause them some issues when you get up against these teams. So I think they'll have their moments, but I think they're a bubble team this year, maybe at the most.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they don't have a guy over 6'9" who's probably going to play this season. They have a 6'10" freshman, but I don't even know if he's going to play. They're small, but they were small last year.
They were.
Right?
They were.
Didn't really affect them last year, but maybe the magic runs out for Miami this season, Javon. But I'm hopping on late. Even if last year was their chance, I'm hopping on late. I still believe in this program and their coach, and I still think they got some stars. And we'll talk about Woogla here in a little bit. I want to hear about your dark horse, though. You've got a plus 35 hundo Wake Forest team over there, Javon. What do you like about the Demon Deacons this season?
Well, truthfully, do I think they're really going to contend with the Dukes of the world at the top of the conference? No, but I think this is a sneaky team for a couple of different reasons. They do have a big transfer coming in for them, and Hunter Sal's from the Zags, which he is one of two. I believe the waiver got denied for the other one from the Zags, but I think him running this offense is going to be a massive help to everybody they have coming back. And around them, you have a lot of veteran guys like Cam Hildreth is coming back, which is absolutely massive. Andrew Carr is coming back. So like there's a lot of minutes and production coming back from this team who, like last year, extremely good offensively. And as you can see, like by the video here from their first game, they were getting torched by Elon early because their defense still has a lot of work to go on. And then what do you know? They came back and won this game by 20, putting up over 100 points. You can believe that. I just think their offense is going to be really, really good. And again, this is a veteran team who their offense can win them a lot of these games against these defenses that they match up particularly well against. So again, do I think that they're going to be a Duke, a North Carolina? No, not necessarily, but this is a team that I think can be just outside kind of that upper echelon of ACC teams. And I wouldn't be shocked to see them make a run. Again, it's like a bubble team that sneaks their way into the tourney.
Okay. Wake Forest, a little value play there. That's what dark horses are meant for, Javon. Love the pick. Do not sleep on Wake Forest. They could put up some points this season. I'm going with Clemson, a team who nobody wants to take, a team who nobody believes in. They've got a boring team, boring coach, Brad Bronwell, who's been there for, God, I feel like 10 or 15 years at this point. And they really haven't done anything. They're losing Hunter Tyson, which looks like a big deal on paper. But, Javon, this team's bringing in Gerard from Syracuse. He's going to be a beast. Playing guard for them, absolute studs. And I'll tell you what, they have one of the best big men, if not the best big man, actually, in the ACC, in our guy, PJ Hall. This kid, I'd take him over Bacat. I don't know if I'd take him over Filipowski. I don't know if I could call him a center, though. But this kid, PJ Hall, has been here for, it feels like 10 years. He's a senior. The guy was a beast last year, averaging over 15 points a game. I think he's the best big man in the ACC, or the best center, I guess you could say, in the ACC. Do not sleep on Clemson. This team is old as heck. They've got 3 graduate students projected to start, a junior and a senior this year. And even without Tyson, Javon, I still think Clemson is going to be able to fight, win with defense. That's a tough place to play down there, tough team to prepare for. They run tough schemes, and I like Clemson this season in college basketball to do something that they never do, and that's make the tournament this year and maybe even win the frickin' ACC. I don't hate them at plus 12 hundo. They don't have a flashy team. They don't have, the prospects. They don't have the big name guys, but they've got a veteran, core of a bunch of dudes who've been here forever, and they're due. Give me Clemson.
Yeah, I'm with you. If I had to take one that was probably a little more reasonable to win the conference outright, it certainly would have been Clemson. So I was right up there with you. Probably would have taken them if you didn't, but I love the shout there. I'm with you.
Sure.
With you.
Miami overrated, huh? Tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I won't talk too much about it because I kind of already did. I just don't think they have the size, which we saw them last season. It didn't really matter because I would say they had better and more established guard play than they'll have this year with the tandem of 2 veteran guys instead of just one. Yes, Wooga Poplar's coming back, and I think he's going to make that step too, but I think there's going to be some growing pains for a couple of games at the very least, and they have a pretty tough road, I think, at least in the middle part of their conference schedule. So I think they're going to be struggling a little bit. They'll have their moments where they look like the Miami of last year, but I still think they'll be kind of a middle tier team. So I'm not as in on Miami this season as you are.
Okay. Somebody didn't learn their lesson from last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll go back to it.
All right. We'll see. we've heard this already a lot on Twitter. We've heard this from Rothstein. We've heard this for years with Miami. More guards than a Shawshank. Okay. That's what Miami does. They win with guard play. They win with small lineups. Let's see if they can do it again this season and overperform. They've done it a lot over the years. Larinaga is so underrated, I think. He's a great coach.
He is.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with Pitt. Look, Pitt last year, out of nowhere, right, made the tournament, made some noise. I think they even won a game, I believe, in March Madness last year. A team from the frickin' playing games always wins. It's usually the weirdest one, too. And last year it was Pitt. I'm selling on this team. They lose their best player, Burton. They lose Nelly Cummings, and they lose Greg Elliott's 3 big pieces. And I'll tell you what, I'm not a Jeff Capel guy at all. I mean, take out last season, Javon, and this guy was about to get canned. If they didn't make the tournament last season, Jeff Capel was probably about to get canned in his 5th year. So I'm not a fan. I think they got kind of lucky last year where they had a bunch of transfers come in, and it worked out great for Pitt. In a better ACC this season, in my opinion, I think this team's going to struggle a little bit against some formidable opponents here in their conference. And I think Pitt's going to take a step back this year after making the tournament and going on a nice little run at the end of the season last year. I'm selling high on Pitt after their first good season under their head coach. And I think the only good season their head coach is going to have, because I don't think he's that guy. Not a Capel guy. Fading him this season. I'm fading the Pitt Panthers. They're overrated. Yeah, sorry, Capwise Nick. I know he's in chat. That sucks. And thank you for the sub bang. I should have changed it after I saw you just resubbed. But 23 months, Capwise Nick. Are you kidding me?
It's hard.
Are you kidding me? That's an OG right there, folks. W's. Make sure you guys watch the Capwise streams in the morning. Okay. W's. And yeah, sorry for roasting Pitt, Capwise Nick. I apologize. But not a believer. Not a believer at all. What do you think about the Pitt Panthers, Javon?
I think it's going to be another painful year for their offense, which I don't know how they did it in certain spots last season. They had some talent there that's obviously not returning. But I can't say I'm a big Pitt fan this year.
No,
I'll tell you that much. Maybe they'll stick in some of the worst like offenses in the ACC and get in some gross games with those teams. But when they're going up against the Miamis, the Dukes of the world, I think it's going to be a real struggle for them to score. So I'm with you there.
Okay.
You want to do players to watch?
Yeah. Tell me about Quentin Post, a guy you've had your eyes on for the last couple of years.
Dude, I love Quentin Post, and it's stemmed from what he's done on the Prize Picks board, probably funding a whole year and a half of college for me last season. But he's like a more versatile Colin Castleton for this team. And this is another team in BC that I think is going to be pretty sneaky. Another one of those kind of like long shot dark horses that I think are going to have potential to be in the middle of the ACC. And he's just like their do-it-all guy. Led the team in scoring last season. He was the most improved player in the ACC as well. He is just the do-it-all guy. And frankly, the guard play for Boston College last year and this year is not what you see. He is going to dominate. Sport, I can tell you the first thing I'm going to be looking at is how can I put my coins on this guy for the entirety of the season, because he is a dog.
He's a beast. Why is he on Boston College? I don't know, but he's still there. You got to respect the loyalty, Javon.
Yeah.
Big things coming from Quentin Post this year, huh?
I think he had 31 in this game, the first game the other day.
Jesus, dude.
He is an absolute dog.
Javon's got a crush on Boston College.
I kind of do for absolutely no reason. But
for football and basketball, bro.
Football and basketball. But yeah, Quentin Post, 31 and 11 in the first game against Fairfield, which, yes, it's Fairfield, but he is going to put up numbers like this against anybody. He is just that good.
Yep. I agree. And by the way, you see that spread in VT at BC next weekend or this weekend?
Do. Hey, they made their bowl game, so I'm all good. That's all I needed.
Might have to take out a loan to bet the Hokies this weekend, Chad. If you haven't seen that line, go take a peep. After the Hokies just got smacked last week and BC hit their win total over with a nice win last week, you're telling me VT's a favorite on the road at BC?
Don't fade Tommy C. Baby Kyler.
Come on. I'm fading the living hell out of Tommy C. He stinks.
Dog.
Come on.
That's
got to be a Hokies.
That's in Chestnut Hill, right?
Yeah, it's up there in Boston. Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me how that line makes sense, because it doesn't.
We'll see.
Okay. Dubs. AL100s. BC fan. His pops went there. He's been a fan his whole life. Sure. He'll be rooting for Quentin Post this year. I'll tell you who I'll be rooting for, Javon. Wooga Poplar. This kid is special. He showed flashes of it last season. Didn't really need to do much. Didn't really shoot the ball a lot. They even talked about it during the games last year with the coach, Larinaga, telling him to shoot the ball more. He needed to. But he felt like there were so many other studs, so many other veterans on this team. He had to kind of wait his time. And you saw him be pretty effective, when he took shots last season. But Javon, now that they don't have the depth, you're going to see the offense pretty much run through Nigel Pack, Norchad Omier, and Wooga Poplar, who's kind of a bigger guard who can shoot from the outside, can shoot the mid-range, can dribble, can drive, can do everything. Guys, this kid is legit. He led the team in shots in their first game against NJIT this week. He led the team in points with 21 points. I think he'll be a better guy for the Miami Hurricanes, and he will take this team to the tournament and will average close to 20 points per game this year for Miami. And in an offense, it's going to be scoring a ton of points in a lot of games with plenty of overs. It's going to be Wooga Poplar and the offense running through him. This kid can really do it all, Javon. Plays defense, can shoot and score from anywhere. He's a stud. And he had some pretty cool shoes on in the first game of the season the other day. I don't know if we have this clip. Oh, we do. He had some Rugrats kicks on the other day. You're telling me you're not backing this kid? He's got some confidence wearing freaking Rugrat shoes. You kidding me? He's about to drop 30 every game. Stuff.
I love it. Yeah, he's a dog.
Absolute beast.
Another guy that I will 100% be looking to put coin on in a lot of situations this year.
Oh, yeah. The prize picks board. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, Dubs. WACC recap. We'll flash this one more time, chat. Take a little screenshot of this. Boop. These are teams we're liking or hating if they're their overrated categories for the ACC this year. Javon, take us through the Big 12. Give us a quick breakdown of what's going on this season, what to look for, and then we'll dive in.
Yeah, quick breakdown. So, I think there is a lot more unknown in past years, which, a lot of that's just kind of the climate of college basketball. There's a lot of big-time transfers going in and out of the conference, in and out of a couple of these teams even. You talk about LJ Cryer going from Baylor to Houston, so you got some interconference changes as well. So it's going to be a really interesting year, especially you have the guys at the top, which I think the clear-cut two favorites to win the Big 12 are the two that we have on the board here as our winners, Kansas and Houston. And there's a lot of unknown after that. You have a Texas team who's made a lot of good ads in the transfer portal, a TCU team who's doing just the same, a West Virginia team who you have on the board too. They made a lot of ads, but they're in a pretty weird situation here with coaching and a couple of suspensions and guys out. So this is going to be another year of anarchy in the Big 12, and it's tough to predict what to expect, but it's going to be another really awesome year of these teams.
Sure. Well, tell me what you like about Houston. Looks like we went with the two favorites to win this conference after we just talked about how competitive it's going to be. Tell me what you like about the Cougs.
Yeah, well, it is competitive regardless of who wins this conference every single season. Even last year, it was a pretty different year. But the one thing really this has more to do with Kansas than it does Houston, because I think Houston, you kind of know what you're going to get from them. You're going to get really good defense, stark home court advantage. I love everything about the production that they're returning and bringing in, obviously, with LJ Cryer. I think he adds an element of shooting and consistency to that offense that they have really lacked in certain spots for the last couple of years. So I'm buying into that, but I have a problem with Kansas because I really do not trust their consistency on offense either. And I love that Kevin McCullough came back. I think that's a much bigger ad than people are talking about. Honestly, that's probably the biggest decision for a lot of these top teams, transfers included, is him staying and not going back to the draft. So they brought in Hunter Dickinson, which is fantastic, but the guard play is just, they're going to defend well for the most part. But until I see for a couple of games in conference them figure out how to score at a consistent level, I'm worried that we're going to have those games where, they went in. I can't remember the games off the top of my head. I think it might have been Iowa State where they come out and they scored 50 points because they can't shoot in the game. I think we're going to have a couple of those for Kansas this season, and especially if you're seeing head-to-head against Houston in a couple of those games against a really good defense. So I have my concerns about Kansas's offense, to say the least, but I'm buying into Houston kind of in that same realm because I do think they're going to be a little improved, and what they're going to get from the defense.
I'm going to put on my little square cap here for a second. And I don't like doing it. It's not going to take long. Don't worry, guys. I can't keep it on my head too long and I'll start causing a fire or something. But putting on my square cap here, looking at Kansas, looking at the Jayhawks. I'm looking at this projected starting lineup, Javon. I don't know who the hell else in this conference. I don't know who the hell else in college basketball can match up with these guys. They get back a ton of dudes from last season. You got Jawan Harris running the freaking point. You got Kevin McCullough back. You got KJ Adams down low. You got Hunter Dickinson now, one of the best, if not the best player in college basketball down there in the paint. You got Nick Timberlake coming over from Towson. I don't know if you remember that kid, but had a tough up and down season last year with some injuries. But that kid is a beast up here and with his play. Smart kid, leader of the Towson Tigers for years, captained that team. Now he's using his grad transfer to come over and play at Kansas. He handpicked to play here because he wants to win a championship, and I think he'll get one again this season. I know it's square, but I'll tell you what, I don't see a world where Kansas doesn't once again win the Big 12 in the regular season, something they do every single year. Okay, I know Bill Self just got paid. Maybe people will be thinking he's fat, happy, and complacent. Absolutely got the bag as he deserves it. He's the best coach left standing in college basketball right now, in my opinion. But I'm going back to the well here. Even without Jalen Wilson and Grady Dick, I don't give a hoot. This team, I love the pieces they've added. They're huge. They're physical. They're old. They've got some experience. I'm all in on the Jayhawks. I think they win this conference easily this season. Square hat off. Oh,
yeah, I can't blame you.
Doing that.
I can't blame you. I don't know if it'll be easily, but I can't blame you for taking them. Like, I'll sum it up.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy about it.
I'll sum it up with this, my thoughts on Kansas. I think for them to win consistently in the Big 12, these big games, you're going to need Hunter Dickinson to go off offensively and Kevin McCullough to go off offensively. And I don't know if we're going to get that consistently enough for me to believe in them to be dominant in the Big 12.
Okay. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. You can't sleep on this guy, though. That's one thing we know.
Hell no, you can't.
Cannot. He's a goat.
Yeah, he is.
He's a goat. He's worth a couple points.
Unreal.
He is.
Unreal.
All right, we got Moose coming in hot with a subby. Love to see it. Love the username, Moose2727. Sure. Let's get this money today. I don't know what that means, but I love it, Moose. W's. Right is wrong coming in hot with a subby. Need some winners. Sure. Dubs. Gentlemen, let's keep moving and grooving. Javon, tell me about your damn Horned Frogs. Get it over with already.
It's not a tonsils play. It's a legitimate, like, I don't make heart bets. I don't recommend heart bets, but a TCU dark horse this year. I look at this team and I watch this team, and this offense, as fun as, Mike Miles and their little transition game was fun to watch last season. They ran a lot of high scoring games, awesome over team to back. Their offense is better this year, and I don't think it's particularly close.
Wow.
So, like, in transition, they're going to do their thing, but the big difference here is that they have shooting. Like, they have the best cast of shooters I think they've ever had in the Jamie Dixon era. Jamie Dixon actually came out and said that Trey Tennyson, who came in from Texas A&M Corpus Christi, is the best shooter that he's had since Desmond Bain, which I don't think is really saying all that much because they really haven't had any shooters, but he's been fantastic. They have Jameer Nelson, who came in and looks really good running that offense. They have Micah Peavy coming back, Emmanuel Miller coming back, one of the best defenders in the Big 12 and really in the country. It's like, this is going to be an exciting team to watch just again this season. So, like, they are going to come in their transition game. They're going to be a team similar to Baylor. They're going to run you up and down the court. They got plenty of fantastic guard play across the board. They also have Ernest Udeh coming in from Kansas, who I would say is the most reliable big man play that they're going to have, and they have had in the last couple of seasons. Loved Eddie Lampkin past tense, but he was a wild card. Xavier Cork, not really an offensive threat either. Great defender, though, and he'll be coming off the bench. But this team is deep. This team has shooters. This team is going to score on you. And against a lot of these other teams, they match up pretty damn well. So when you're playing the Frogs, especially if you're going on the road to TCU, that's going to be a struggle for a lot of these teams in the Big 12. So watch out, because they're going to be right up there with the other teams.
And we're going to have to go to a game again. I had a great time there last year. We stormed the court. People forget.
We did, yeah.
We stormed that pitch. It was fun. Yeah, your guys' basketball arena, not the best, but had a great time in there. And that was a great game we went to, though. W's.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of those really good games this season.
Yeah, what's the best one on the sketch? Have you looked yet? Is there you guys have like Kansas coming into town, or like any crazy games like that, or Houston at home?
I know they definitely have Houston. I think that's towards the beginning, or maybe that's Kansas. No, Kansas. That's on the road. But yeah, they have Houston at home, second week of conference play, which is going to be great. But I'm telling you right now, and just like we saw last year, both of these games, the best entertainment value game in the entire Big 12, I think, is going to be TCU Baylor, because that's going to be a game that might be 100-100, just like we saw last year. It was like 90-something. Like, it was crazy. But those teams, when they play together with these two squads, it is going to be ridiculous. It's like that. You can already lock in the over for both of those games when they play for me, because that is going to be a shootout twice.
Okay. W's. We'll get some shootouts in this conference. I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Javon, I'm scratching my head over here. I took a value play, my dark horse with the Mountaineers. And look, I know they don't have Huggins, and from the stuff he's been doing and saying, maybe that's a good thing for this program because he does not seem as sharp as he once was. They've got a new coach here this season, Josh Ellert, who's been there for like literally 30 years, Javon. This guy was an assistant, first started out like the video room for West Virginia, and he just kind of stuck by Huggins and was his right-hand man for over 20 years, and now he's getting a chance to be a head coach. I'm looking at this team. look, I know they lose Trey Mitchell. I know they lose a couple decent guys. Eric Stevenson was pretty damn good last year out of nowhere. They lose him. They lose Kadarian Johnson as well. But Javon, I'm looking at the dudes they're bringing in. I love the guys they're bringing in. This might be my favorite transfer class coming in out of any team, any school this offseason. They got Jesse Edwards, the big man, the behemoth from Syracuse, who, yes, I'm a little bit worried about him running man this year, but I still believe in him being able to make some adjustments. Apparently, they've been working on it all off season with Jesse Edwards, getting that big-ass mobile and being able to cover a big man. But he is a giant in the paint, and he is an absolute rim protector, beast down low. Look, they've got Raekwon Battle coming in from Montana State. We know this kid. He's been in the tournament the last couple of years, or at least he's been in there in the past. Do not sleep on Raekwon Battle. This kid is one of the best scorers in college basketball, in my opinion. He's coming in after averaging almost 18 points a game last season, a veteran, plug and play, fifth year right into this lineup. He's going to be a stud. They got Kerr Krissa, right? Krissa Kerr, whatever you want to call him. I know he's on a 9-game suspension right now, but as soon as he gets back, Javon, having him and freaking Jesse Edwards running the pick and roll is going to be beautiful to watch. I mean, they're going to light it up on offense. I know these guys might not be the best shooters, but I think they'll be very successful with the pick and roll, and they got Raekwon Battle who can shoot a little bit too. And do not sleep on a W name, the transfer from Georgetown who they get. And they also get Noah Farrakhan, Javon, from Eastern Michigan, who I'm pretty high on. And don't sleep on Jeremiah Bembry from Florida State. They have so many new pieces. And I know these guys, came in playing with Coach Huggins. The fact that they've all stayed, with this rando coach who's making his debut as a head coach in college basketball, I think is a good sign. I do. And I'm buying low on West Virginia when nobody's talking about them with what I think is one of the best, transfer classes in the portal this offseason. Go Mountaineers. I'm buying low at plus 4,000 as my dark horse in the Big 12 this season.
Yeah, there is going to be – that's a crazy statement. But yeah, West Virginia is a team that I can get behind on a game-to-game basis, but especially with how they're starting the season, with the Kerr Krisa suspension, the injuries across the board. Raekwon Battle, I don't think is going to play this year because he got his waiver denied for eligibility.
No fucking way.
Which is another issue. But I think their highs are going to be very high, but they're going to be a team where they're going to go on the road and get moosed by Oklahoma State, or a team like a Cincinnati who's going to be really good defensively. It's their offense is going to be an issue. That's what I kind of think. Because I think their biggest addition or their biggest asset is Jesse Edwards in certain matchups, but I know it's a new Big 12. When's the last time you saw a team with a dominant big man win in the Big 12 just by pure dominance in the paint?
Never.
That would be my one thing. Because you need guard play in the Big 12. And that's a thing. And if this is true, that's also a problem. It's just I think there's too many moving pieces with this team that yes, they could get it together later in the season. But I think this whole situation kind of carrying over into the start of non-conference, God forbid if it lasts any longer, might be a little bit of an issue for them. That's just that's my main concern there.
I don't even know if Akok got his freaking waiver approved either, and I cannot believe I
think
said the guy's name
he's
again.
Injured, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I don't know what the timetable is looking like on that, but I'm pretty sure he's hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Raekwon Battle, Kerr Krissa, and Akok were at the game on the bench in polos and pants on the side of the bench for their first little warm-up game or whatever on Monday. Not warm-up game, but they did pull out a nice little win in a fake sharp spot there against Missouri State, Javon. You got to give them credit, tip your cap. West Virginia did pull out a nice win in their first game. Don't sleep on them. I'm a little bit worried about when they Javon for Prez. I'm a little bit worried about when Jesse Edwards is going to have to cover, a quicker big man, or a guy like Norchad Omier if they have to play somebody like that who can move around a little bit. But, I mean, he is just a wall down there in the paint, and I think he's going to cause issues and just be kind of a rim stuffer for this team.
Yeah, as much as I do want to buy into them kind of later in the Big 12 season, I can tell you one thing. I will be targeting them in the next couple of weeks to get upset by one of these bullshit teams.
Oh, God. Okay.
They don't have the most challenging schedule. They play, Monmouth, Jacksonville State, SMU might be a sneaky one. I believe that's on a neutral court. Bellarmine could be sneaky. Then they play St. John's, which is definitely a potential target game there. But they're a team, I can tell you, between a couple of those games, they're going to fall somewhere to one of those teams.
I would not be surprised. They don't have a real coach. right? This guy is just getting thrown out there to the wolves. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. It could be like the inmates running the asylum, though, and it could absolutely collapse. High risk, high reward for this play. That's why they're plus 4,000, folks.
Yeah,
okay?
100%.
Javon, we're going to power through these last two cats. Tell me about why Iowa State and the Cyclones are overrated. Love hearing this after they fucked my bank account this weekend in football.
Yeah, I'm just so not convinced. Obviously, like in the scoring aspect of everything for them, because like they still have Taman Lipsey. Really, other than that, they got I don't even know how to say the dude's last name, but a freshman named Milan, like Mom Silovich, who's coming in, who's really going to be, I think, their biggest improvement in asset scoring. But other than that, it's not much really improved on this team that you can say you can really buy into and believe in. And honestly, the additions that they made, I think this is going to be the worst rendition of the Iowa State defense that you had in the last couple of years, because they tried to kind of address scoring, and I don't think that's going to work. And they kind of sacrificed defensive skill and an effort to try and get that to happen. So I don't believe in this team, which it's still going to be very tough to go into Hilton and get a win, but it's going to be a different team. TJ Altenberger always has a really good defense, but I don't think that's going to be able to be something that's going to hang his hat on this season nearly as much.
Yeah, I'm out on Iowa State. I'm with you. I'm also out on Texas. I'm not saying Texas is going to suck. I'm not saying Texas is going to have a losing record this season. But what I am saying is I think their magic has run out last year. I mean, Rodney Terry in his first season taking over, unbelievable run. But I feel like this team will take a step back in his second year. Like we've seen a lot of first-year coaches in their second year take a little bit of a step back. And I'll tell you what, losing guys like Marcus Carr, Sir'Jabari Rice, and Tim Allen, I mean, that's no joke at all, losing guys like that. And I know they brought in Caden Shedrick from UVA. I know they brought in Max Asmus from Oral Roberts, who's supposed to be a stud, and he was a stud in the mid-major rankings. But, I mean, in his first game, he played 30 minutes, and I think he only had 12 points? Nothing crazy there. So unless this kid is going to turn on the Jets and figure it out, I don't know if he's going to have the juice to play against these teams in the Big 12. I think he might have just been a dude who was small and got away with succeeding against, mid-major teams here. I'm not saying he's a flop, but I'm a little bit concerned after that first game, and I'm a little bit concerned with Texas after losing 3 of their big-name studs from last season. Not a big fan of Shedrick, I'll be honest with you. That guy can't score. Looks like he's playing offense with his hands tied behind his back. But maybe Max Asmus will prove me wrong and carry this team to the promised land. But I'm selling high on Texas after a great season last year out of nowhere with their new coach. I don't think they're going to run it back. I don't.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a little more growing pains with this team than I guess a lot of people realize. And I believe in the team. Don't get me wrong. I love Ifyo Horton coming back from UCF. I think he is a pretty impactful transfer, maybe even better of a system fit than Max Avis, to be honest. But they're also dealing with a couple of injuries. I think Dylan Dessou is kind of banged up to start the year. I love Dylan Mitchell coming back, but we'll see what he has to do. Like you said, Shedrick is not a big scoring threat. I think from the big, they kind of need a scoring threat to hang their hat on with this team to give the guards time to chill. So another team that I could see, looking at their schedule, they don't have really many spots that they can slip up early in the season, except when they go to Marquette at the start of December. So if they do slip up, it's not like it's going to be against like a middle tier team. It's going to be against a very good team. But I think the guard, that little backcourt there, is going to have time to kind of work together and find the best rotations of all of them before they look like the Texas of last year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with them.
Dubs. And I know you've already talked a little bit about Pop Isaacs. We even talked about him last year. We took him a little bit on the Prize Picks board. He respected coins at times. They kick and shoot the lights out. Why are you so high on Pop this season, Javon? Tell the people.
I love Pop Isaacs. And to be honest with you, this Texas Tech team, another team that is they're going to be improved from last season. I think last year's team, they tried a construction of the team that simply doesn't work. Like they went heavy on like Pop Isaacs, one guard, and then a couple of bigs, and then just size everywhere, which now they have guys who can facilitate the offense more, which Pop was having to do for the majority of their offense. And frankly, I mean, he was a young guy, turnover machine for a couple of these games. Now they bring in Darion Williams, a guy that you really like, coming from Nevada. They also bring in Joe Toussaint, who is a guy who's not really going to fill the stat sheet, but he's a good facilitator of the offense. So what does Pop do now? Pop is going to do some facilitating the offense as well. They want them to be interchangeable with those couple of guys, but he's allowed to play off the ball too, to do exactly what you're seeing right now on the screen. Just be a guy who goes up there and chucks, which I'm not going to just use a baseline for what happens in scrimmages, but they tried out this new offense in their first little exhibition. What does he do? He takes 10 threes and puts up 30 points. So he is going to be the guy for that team, and he is going to do ridiculous things on offense. So another guy, just like he is going to be a GOAT on the PP board this year, and I am so excited to watch him play. And it starts tonight.
Give Pop the damn keys. Give him the keys.
Yep.
I'm in. I got another guy who's getting the keys. Tyler Perry. Ever heard of him? I'm not talking about the show. I'm talking about the stud graduate transfer, Javon, coming over from North Texas. I know Lauren likes this kid from down there by you guys. He's been an absolute beast in college basketball for the last 5 years, 4 years, whatever it is. This is his 5th season. The kid's a plug-and-play GOAT. He's going to run this offense. It's going to completely run through him. We saw how successful Marquise Noel was in this offense last year. I feel like it'll be very similar with Tyler Perry plugging in. I think this kid's legit. He's coming off a nice game. He averaged over 17 points per game last season for North Texas. A veteran, plays both sides of the ball. I am a fan of Tyler Perry, and he had a very, very good debut. 4 steals. My goodness, This kid does play both sides of the ball. That's why the Mean Green were so good at defense, because this kid holds it down on the perimeter, and he can score as well. Dude's a stud. If you guys haven't heard of this kid, get hip, because you're going to be hearing a lot of Tyler Perry talk. And like I said, I'm not talking about the show. I'm talking about the stud replacing Marquise Noel, Javon. I think he's going to be just as good.
Yeah, I think he struggled for a little bit against like a really good USC defense, and then kind of figured it out, filled up the stat sheet because he kind of had to in the game the other night. But he is going to be another guy that's going to get the keys to that offense with no Noel, no Marquise Johnson or Keontae Johnson. So it's going to be him and Cam Carter. So he's going to have to be the guy.
Don't sleep on Dave Nagesson. Okay, a veteran down there in the paint. He used to be a Hokie. He was there when I was there. Tells you how long that dude's been around. He's a senior this year. He might still have another freaking COVID year. I don't know. That dude's been around for 10 years. Don't sleep on Dave in the paint.
Good. Right? Is he there right now?
Dave Nagesson? Yeah, he played in the first game.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
They're missing They're missing a couple of guys.
Well, he was like questionable. He was hurt in the offseason. He was questionable to play, and he did play in game 1. It could be someone else though. Maybe
no,
Kaluma.
It's
is it Kaluma?
Naquan Tallman, who I'm thinking of.
Naquan.
He's probably done for the foreseeable future, if I had to guess.
Really?
Which is big. Yeah, there's no updated news coming out about him, which is concerning.
Okay. All right, let's move. Let's groove. W, chat, take a screenshot of this. These are the teams we're loving or hating for the Big 12 this year in CBB. All right, it's about that time to pivot and talk about some games for today, Javon. Why not? We got about 35 minutes, about 40 minutes. Let's dive. All right. Let's talk about Troy and Ohio, the game of the night. Javon, why don't we start with that one? Any thoughts on Troy coming down 2 points on the spread against Ohio, a team who has been pretty good in years past in the MAC, but I don't know if I'm buying high on Ohio after losing one of their studs last season, Javon. I don't know. I think it might be Troy here, and I think that spread coming down 2 points accordingly is a pretty telling sign, and Troy also has a game under their belt already this season too.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to value some of these teams where you see a little mismatch in the games played for them. But it's an interesting spot for like Ohio. Yes, they're obviously losing a good bit of production, but with that, they're not really replacing it with much experience, which I guess would be my main concern coming into this game. So I would have to take a little Troy lean here. I am a pretty big fan of what they're going to be doing in their backcourt too. I forgot to say his first name, but Eugene, the guy who's coming back for them, or the new guy that's coming in from them. I think he transferred in from God knows where, but I saw him a little bit in that little exhibition they had, and I like what he brings to the offense. A lot of versatility there, so I'm 100% down to buy into that backcourt to have a pretty solid game, and I'd be down to sell in Ohio. I think defensively there's some there.
Betting Troy because Ohio lost 1 player when Troy returns 3 players from last year's team, Capwise Nick said.
100%.
Looks like Capwise Nick's got a sneak Ohio ticket.
Yeah, probably.
He took that one personally. Never personal, Capwise Nick, you know that. But I like Troy having a game under their belt, though, I will say. And I don't think Ohio is
cast that they're bringing back more so than any difference in experience.
Like who is replacing Dwight Wilson in this offense?
Yeah, not a soul. Not a soul.
Not a single guy. Not a single guy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm out on Ohio. I like the other teams in the MAC much better, so maybe I'm being biased, but I do like Troy to cover the spreads. Capwise Nick likes the over tonight. Ooh, that total's sneakily up 2.5 points.
Yeah, I mean
Oh,
that's what I really like. Not I mean I wouldn't say in the over just because you said it, but we have the Ohio like backcourt that I've been talking about. I think they're going to get cooked defensively because that's the big issue there. And Jalen Hunter, who I guess you could say is going to be the main replacement as far as production goes for Ohio.
mhm.
I he every time I watched him last year, he was getting cooked off the ball every single time. There were like games where he would get targeted by every single pick and roll team would run against him. So if he's kind of their lead defender in that backcourt, I have some questions. I'll tell you that.
Okay. I'm in. Give me Troy and the points on the road. Can we talk about a better game? One that I can't stop thinking about.
Sure.
Let's talk about FIU and Loyola Chicago and Sister Jean. Okay. Look, the spread opened up last night, Javon, at 4.5. Now it's back up to 6.5, which I guess makes a little bit more sense, but still doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, to be honest with you. Especially after FAU, went to the Final Four last year and returns pretty much their entire team from last season, including Golden, their 7-1 center, including Janelle Davis, who's an absolute beast guard. Loyola Chicago, though, Javon, in Valentine's third season, it's make or break for him. He's either going to get canned this year or he's going to, solidify himself as the coach of this team, for the foreseeable future after they lost their GOAT to Oklahoma a couple years ago. But Loyola Chicago, Javon, they brought in a bunch of really good new pieces from the portal this season. I'll tell you what, do not sleep on Des Watson, the kid coming over from Davidson. He's going to be a main piece in this offense. Don't sleep on Greg Dolan or Dame. I'm going to say this guy's last name wrong, but Alakun, 2 Ivy League transfers who were studs last season, who are coming over using their grad year to plug and play and start right away. This is going to be a completely new starting rotation for Loyola Chicago, pretty much, Javon. But if you look at who they're projected to be starting, it's going to be all veterans pretty much coming in from the portal. It's all graduate students or seniors who are going to be getting minutes. And I love that going against an FAU team who is, on cloud 9. They went to the Final Four last season, lost by 1 point to San Diego State. Everybody remembers that Cinderella story, crazy. I got to sell. I got to fade that program, that team. All the pressure's on them. Loyola Chicago, they stunk last season. They had like 10 wins. They have no pressure, no expectations in this spot. Give me the Ramblers. Give me Sister Jean. I hate taking this team. But yeah, the plus 4.5 now up to 6.5. I don't even give a shit. FAU's getting nuked with bets, Javon, close to 90% of bets and handle at this point. We're taking Sister Jean. We're taking the points. I know this game is not a home game for the Ramblers, but it might as well be. They are playing this in Chicago. Yeah. That could be the difference here. We know they have a weird amount of fans who are going to be there, and there's freaking Harry Potter things they're rocking, like Sister Jean is up here. They're going to show out. And Loyola Chicago, they're going to be a new look team this season. Don't sleep on the veterans putting together that new rotation out there. It's going to be a new Rambler squad, and I'm buying low.
Yeah, I'm down to do that, but I think I'm also down to back points in this game because I think it kind of directly lines up with Loyola Chicago. A stat that I've seen floating around, Twitter and a couple different places is that FAU, they've been top 10 really consistently throughout the entire last season, regular season, and in March combined. It's been giving up open threes, which Loyola Chicago is fantastic at scheming looks, which, yes, if they're going to take a bunch of threes like this here, they're going to take 25, 30 threes. I will put my money on them not shooting like that if they're going to have a lot of open looks like FAU has been very prone to give up. So I think this is going to be a fast tempo game with a lot of open looks really on both sides. Loyola Chicago is also going to get to the rim at the pick and roll, I think, at ease. And FAU, their offense is going to do the same thing. That's the reason I really trust the coaching advantage there scheme wise of Loyola Chicago, but I don't think defensively they're going to be able to hang in too much either. So, I'm down to back points. What is it, 142.5? I am good to take that over. It also is the Barstool Invitational game, which, if anybody remembers those couple games, those soared last year with, it's like UAB and much better offenses, but it's a narrative that I'd be down to back too.
Okay, points. Somebody check and see if they're doing some sort of overs club giveaway, because if they are, we might have to cash out that over. If not, though, I'm in. Either way, give me Sister Jean. Give me the 6.5 points. Mima's covering tonight. How can you guys not want to put your coins on Mima? It's literally Mima. Sister Jean, Mima on the flash. Okay, we're taking her tonight. We're taking the points. Hate backing this team, but I'm willing to buy low with their pretty much completely revamped and new lineup. All right, it's not going to be
one of the guys that's certainly not very new is Brett Norris, who I haven't looked to see if he has any lines up. But if I'm talking about what they're going to get off the dribble and open looks from three, that is a guy that I would have absolutely no issues with backing. And he's going to be, if you think Loyola Chicago is going to stay in this game or win this game, he's probably going to have to do something today.
Okay. Should probably take it now, or I can wait longer and get more points, Crabs. Yeah, Luke, I don't think we're in any rush, bro. I think that could end up getting up to 7 or 7.5 potentially. I'm in no rush to take Loyola Chicago. Probably lock that in right before tip, to be honest with you. I'll let the squares continue to hammer FAU, thinking that this is, March Madness from last year. And then we'll come in and grab as many points as we can. Okay. W's. And yeah, people talking about Jacksonville State or Jackson State in chat. I promise we'll get to that one too. Okay. Let's talk about Canisius and Syracuse first, Javon. I don't know if you're super tapped into this Canisius team, but I'm kind of excited about these boys. I think the Griffins are kind of decent. Crazy mascot name. Look, they had a terrible season last year until the very end where they got kind of hot. I think they won like 4 or 5 out of their last 7 games. There are only 2 losses in that stretch. We're about to the mount, which is hilarious. But don't let Canisius get hot, Javon. This team got absolutely on fire towards the end of the year. Their defense, something clicked there at the end where, their last 7 or 10 games, the numbers were night and day. It was like a different team was out there, Javon, and they're returning pretty much everybody. I'm in on this Canisius team, and they've got this kid, Taj Stavitsky, this kid who was a freshman last year, who was actually a conference all-freshman team candidate. I think he takes leaps and bounds this year. He can score at will. He's going to be the guy for this team against Syracuse, a program who everybody's very high on with no Boeheim. I'm curious to see how that plays out. A Syracuse team who's home once again tonight, but could not even cover against the worst New Hampshire team in their first game. Now they get a scrappy Canisius team who the best way to describe them is like a bunch of pests on defense. If you watch them, they're scrappy. They're going to be bugging the living heck out of these guards at Syracuse tonight, pestering them when they're coming off the court and giving them tons of problems. Do not sleep on Canisius this season, and do not sleep on Canisius against Syracuse tonight, Javon. I thought that spread looked a little bit short at first glance, and until Syracuse proves to me that they can make it happen without Boeheim on the court, I'm going to continue to fade the orange, and I'm going to back Canisius tonight with the points.
Yeah, I'm not going to act like I'm super tapped into Canisius because I'm not, but I did kind of see a little bit from Syracuse in their first game that was a bit concerning. I mean, they can't shoot. That's one thing, which has been an issue kind of in and out between, the last couple of years. They have the big games from Joe Girard, Judah Mintz, like every now and again, but they shot 5 of 21 from 3-point range in the first game. So really everything they were getting is in transition. So if Canisius is able to stop them in transition, this is going to be a game that they can keep very, very tight. So I have absolutely no problem backing the Griffins in this game if that's going to be the case.
Sure. Yeah. No, they're going to hang around. They might end up winning this game. Do not sleep on Canisius, folks, and do not sleep on Taj. If you guys haven't seen this kid play, he is a bucky, and he's going to ball again tonight against Syracuse, who doesn't run that scary defense anymore. Are they going to be running the zone still? What do we think?
I mean,
Guess
maybe
we'll
they
find
run
out.
it in and out. I didn't pay attention to that the entire game.
I don't know if they have the pieces. I don't know if they have the pieces.
I really
to
don't know if they
season.
do have the pieces. I would
Yeah,
assume
no zone.
not.
No zone.
No
Good.
zone. Yeah, I mean,
good.
See.
W's. Yeah, until I see the orange do it on the court, I'm going to continue to fade this team in this program. We've seen a lot of coaches have a lot of success, taking over for a GOAT in their first year, and I think that's kind of provided some bias here. For another team like Syracuse who's in the same spot, I mean, is that trend going to continue? It makes no sense. I don't know. I got to see it first. I do. All right. Dubs, give me the points with Canisius, and we move. Let's talk about Arizona State and Mississippi State. People in chat are saying Arizona State ML. Javon, that line came down from +5 to around +3.5. What's your take on this game? Who do you like?
Kind of want to stick with Mississippi State in this one, which this seems odd at first glance that they come down, but people forget there's no Tolu Smith in there for Mississippi State. And you have an Arizona State team who really hung their hat on a lot of athleticism at every level. And you look at some of those guys and they're gone now. Like, especially like one of the guys who I think is going to be a big difference for Texas Tech is one of the Cambridge brothers to do just that. So I don't know if we're going to see the same level defensively that we saw from Arizona State coming into last season. And this is still a very athletic and good team they're going to see on the defensive side on the other side of things with Mississippi State. So I think this is going to be a pretty ugly game. And yes, like our man's saying, this is probably one of the sharper plays on the board, and the most obvious sharp play on the board for the first couple of days has been doing pretty ugly. So I'm 100% glad to buy into Mississippi State here, buy the bad news with no Tolu Smith. Like this too, Andrew Taylor, a guy who just absolutely chucks. I don't know if you remember him, but
The
for
Marshall
Marshall,
kid.
dude took
Shut
20
up.
dude took 20 shots a game, and now he's at Mississippi State, which seems like
Mhm.
a non-system fit off the cuff there, but they need a scoring
They
option. And I think
need that. That's
if he can
exactly
get a
what they
guy who's
need.
going to be dynamic off the dribble and at least put up shots instead of letting them get fully into their kind of slow tempo offense, that's going to make a difference for them. So no Tolu Smith, no not. I think the defense locks in for Mississippi State regardless, and I think they can squeak out a little cover here, -3.5.
Wow. Okay. I'm in. Love that angle. Maybe the best sell job so far today. Buy the bad news with Toulouse Smith. Even with that spread moving back, who gives a hoot? Chat
Yeah.
smelling a squad round. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be an option. I like. I know Goots doesn't like it. He's an Arizona State fan. I know. I know. All right. You got football plays or no?
I don't.
Okay.
Not too exciting of an action for me betting wise today.
Soft. No, Luke. No. Let's talk about this game really quick. All right. I've been watching this line like a hawk the last couple of hours, Javon. Jackson State moved to a favorite earlier today. I guess now people are saying they're moving back to a dog. That's no bueno. I don't love hearing that. I'm going to check the data, check the Carfax on this one. Let's see. People forget Coach Prime's old alma mater. Yeah, they're back to a freaking dog. Either way, though, what is up with that line? I mean, I know San Diego is really not good, but I mean, Jackson State is, I feel like, on a lower level than San Diego. They're definitely in a worse conference. I thought that was weird to see that line even close to a pick 'em, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I'm not really sure what to think about this game, to be honest with you. I mean, I probably have to lean still at Jackson State, if anything. It's just so gross. And like Cap was saying, like this is such an inexperienced team for San Diego, which they do, I believe, have a game under their belt, an exhibition game under their belt, maybe. But there's a lot of questions. So we'll see how it kind of unfolds. But I have no problem fading that team.
Okay. All right. Yeah, chat. I'm probably going to be on. Well, actually, I already took it +1.5 at -120. So I am on Jackson State tonight. We move. I'm not locking that out. I'm not getting scared by a little bit of movement. Still weird that's even a pick 'em. All right. Dubs, let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving. Let's quickly touch on these matching games, Javon, and see if we can pull some leans out of the dust for the people. And then we can go on to hockey or NBA. I'm sure you've got a hockey play on the ice you like, right?
Okay.
W's. Bowling Green, Kent State. I think Bowling Green wins this game big. I think Kent State, they've completely fallen off. The Golden Flashes, who at one point dominated the MAC for a couple of years when we were in college, have completely fallen off. I talked about in the beginning of this season, Kent State is in a full rebuild this year, and it's showing. I mean, they're 1-8. Continue to fade this team, square up for Kitch, and take Bowling Green on the road here. Spreads moved from 6.5 to 10.5, and that total's on the move as well. I lean Bowling Green, putting that square cap back on. I do. Any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, that's a strange game. I will say the total moving up is interesting for me because this is a game with these two offenses that I don't know how they're going to score. Like, especially like at least you take put the square hat on and look in perspective of these two offenses. The Bowling Green team, two offenses that have been terrible. Now Bowling Green, Connor Bazelak is going to have to do everything pretty much because Terrion Stewart, I believe, is supposed to be out for this game, and Kent State's offense has been absolutely putrid. So I don't remember which game it was, but there's a similar game like this last week that we talked about that just made it. I think Kent State might have been in it, but just like on paper, how do these teams score? But you see this total go from 38.5 to 41 now, which doesn't make any sense at all to me. So it just might be a random shootout for no reason. Maybe Connor Bazelak looks good for once.
Yeah, and I mean, the only times these teams have even put up any points in the last couple of weeks was when they were playing against Akron, who has one of the worst defenses I have personally ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, that's definitely a little strange. We're seeing that total moving and grooving up. It's a little strange to see the Akron and Miami of Ohio total that low, in my opinion, with how bad Akron's defense is. That's a little sketch. Maybe the under is the play in this game.
Could be. Maybe they
Yeah.
just don't score.
Huh.
It might have been this game too. That was it Akron Kent State last week is the game that I think we talked about. That it was just like, how the hell do these teams score? But the total is moving up randomly, and it's soared over by like 20 points. And now the total is what, 38.5 in this game with Miami, Ohio, who, like, I guess you could kind of say that they could come close to putting this up themselves, which is interesting. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they just don't score. Maybe it's like a
Gotta be an
34-0,
under.
34-0 Miami, Ohio type game.
Gotta be an under. 1,000%, Javon. I'm so in on that. That could be my favorite college football play of the day. Under 38.5 in Akron, Miami of Ohio. I don't know how it's going to get done, but it is. Probably with Akron outscoring one bet. Right? And then Eastern Michigan versus Toledo. I know that spread got up to like 20 at some point, and now it's come back down to 19.5. I don't know if I have a play reading this one. Toledo is a wagon this year in the MAC. I don't even want to get in their way, and they've dominated the last couple of teams they've played. Miami of Ohio, who's a good team that they beat, and they destroyed Buffalo. Eastern Michigan, on the other hand, I mean, they're coming off an absolute blowout. I don't know if I'd be willing to get, square again here twice on the same freaking college football slate and back at Toledo. Maybe it's just plug your nose and back Eastern Michigan and hold on for dear life. But that's probably where I'd put my coins if I had to. But I'm not going to be betting this game.
Yeah, I don't want to be betting this game either because Toledo, the way they've been rolling the last couple of weeks, they're not a team that I want to have coins against for the back end of this season. I think they're really starting to get going. I don't think that train's going to stop. Man. So I'm definitely good on getting cute with the dog here.
Yep, I'm with it. Somebody in chat said Toledo's about to smack them with those splits. Let me see what my guy's talking about here. I don't know. The splits don't look too hot. They don't. I'll tell you what splits do look hot. That Akron and Miami under splits. Holy smokes. 24% of bets, 51% of handle on the green book.
Interesting.
And that over in Bowling Green, Kent State, 66% of bets, 83% of handle. So a little bit more public, but some big bets coming in on that over. Okay.
Really makes sense.
Sure. Does not make sense. Those were probably our two college football plays for today. Bowling Green, Kent State over, and Akron, Miami of Ohio under.
Just might have to be.
Why don't you take us to the ice? You seem like you want to get to the ice.
No,
what do we like today?
Not too much. I don't love anything on the ice today, to be honest with you. You only have a couple of games. If I were to take anything, the only thing that I kind of like is just getting square with the Panthers on the road against the Caps.
Okay.
Who, to be honest, have been playing a little better than I think people realize, but I think this is a really good spot for their offense to absolutely pepper Darcy Kemper. So it's probably the one thing I have on the ice, but I don't love anything there. The only thing that's on my best bets that's in the other sport is hoping that he comes to play in this game. So I think it's a question mark around him. But Derek Lively for the Mavs going up against the Raptors, who have been abysmal against centers. If he does play, get a full run, I'll be paying attention to the restrictions and whatever news comes out against that, and taking his rebounds to feast against that moo shit interior defense. So I think he's going to destroy Pirtle and whatever combination of Scotty Barnes he gets. So hoping we have a really good Derek Lively game if he's out there.
Okay. Sure. A Derek Lively masterclass. Why not, Javon? Dude, this total in Utah and Indiana is so freaking high.
Yeah, it's Pacers
142.5. I know it's a Pacers tax. I guess they did just put up a 152 burger.
Yeah.
In their last game, as we get a 5U subby from Wags. Let's go, Wags. Let's go, my dudes. 5-piece. Hold the fry. Love to see it. W's. Let's freaking go, Wags. All right, yeah, maybe it's just the Pacers and them having a worse defense than the Wizards somehow. Okay. I don't even know if that's possible, though. Any other cheeky plays for the professional gents? I'm not liking anything.
Yeah, not too much.
What about the Rockets plus 4.5 against the Lakers?
I did take a peek at that. A peek. I don't know if I want to get cute with that after, I don't know, if you saw what Dylan Brooks said. He said he's ready to lock up LeBron.
Okay.
So I want 0 coins on anything Rockets after seeing that.
I mean, should we take LeBron points?
Yeah, probably.
No, Dylan Brooks is going to foul out in the first half because he's going to be just hucking LeBron.
LeBron free throws, maybe.
We got Patriots cheated coming in hot with a subby 22 months. Holy smokes. NBA is a scam. 22-month bang. Sure, Patriots cheated. Okay. W's. Listen to the man. He's been here for a minute. Love it. Yeah, Dylan Brooks has to be just trolling at this point, guys. I mean, it's just nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, he's been a lot better than people realize to start this season. But
he's balling this year. Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually been really, really good. I mean, he's always been good defensively, but now he's averaging like 15, 16 a game or something crazy. But yeah, you come at LeBron, that worked really well the first time. Good luck, because he is going to do things to you today.
Yeah, I'm not even in the mood to be pulling any shit like that, fading LeBron after those comments. You kidding me? I don't care if LeBron's 80 years old. I don't care if he's as old as me, Mom.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You don't fucking chirp the goat. You don't do that. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Who does this guy Dylan Brooks think he is? I'm surprised one of these dudes hasn't just clocked his ass on the court yet. Why does he think he's fucking Michael Jordan, dudes? I know we put him in our prize picks entry, but I'm kind of wishing we didn't at this point. This dude sucks.
We put him in for offense, which he's actually surprisingly doing. So I still feel really good about that.
He's just the worst, dude.
Tonight he is just asking for just punishment. So
I mean, he's got some stones. I'll give him that, man.
He does. I mean, you got to respect it to a degree, but
yes, it's just like you got to have respect for the people who are better than you in the league. You know what I mean? Like you don't chirp LeBron.
Yeah, you don't do that. That's
you just don't.
You can't do.
You don't. Okay.
You can't.
All right. Well, we got some football plays we like, chat. Don't sleep on that Bowling Green and Kent State over. Don't sleep on that Akron and Miami of Ohio under. And then we've got some CBB plays as well that we like today. Give me Jackson State plus 1.5. Give me Loyola Chicago plus 6.5. Give me Canisius. I think Canisius is probably my favorite play of the day.
I don't think I talked about the one I have on my best bets yet. I'm interested to hear your take on that. You're a big Penn guy, or at least invest in the Ivy pretty consistently, a little more than I am. I like the over in the Bucknell game, Bucknell Penn, which a lot of that has to do with Bucknell defensively. I think they are going to be very bad to open the year, and I guess they already were in their first game against Delaware. They're working with a lot of new rotations. They're bringing back, I think, 2 guys that had consistent minutes going into this season, which has been a problem defensively. They just look very confused and lost in a lot of the rotations, and they play fast. They play sloppy. I think Penn is going to feast on the offensive end, and Bucknell is going to be struggling to catch up for a while, but I think Penn very well could put up 90 points in this game. So, I think this is going to get pretty ugly, and they have scorers who I think are going to be able to not get into a Bucknell type game that's sloppy and full of turnovers. So I like their offense to destroy them. And I think Bucknell will do enough on their side, and it'll be a semi-close game. Maybe hang within like 10 points there.
Okay. I mean, they put up a 1 or 2 piece in their exhibition earlier this week. Good sign there, even without Jordan Dingle, right? That's kind of a concern. You lose your stud, who, and 100%. By the way, I'm forgetting where he went, but he went somewhere cool. Can you remind me?
He played last night. Right?
Yeah, Jordan Dingle. Where did he go?
Indiana, right?
Yeah, Indiana. Yeah,
Indiana. Yep. W reminder. Okay. It's definitely concerning, but they are playing in the Palestra. I mean, that place is magical. They love points galore there. That total is up, and they did just put up a 1 or 2 piece. And also, Bucknell is probably a bottom 5. Oh yeah, he went to St. John's.
Or St. John's. Yeah,
sorry, chat.
On that team. Yeah, I mean, I like what they have coming back though. Like Clark Slater, or however you say his name. He's like the one experienced guy they have in that backcourt. I trust him to kind of run that offense a little bit, but they also have this freshman named Tyler Perkins, who I was looking at, who I'm really excited. And I think he's going to be I don't want to say like what we saw from the Baylor freshman last night, but I think he's going to be pretty exciting there too. So this is I think going to be a tough game for Bucknell's defense.
Yeah, Bucknell is one of the worst teams in college basketball this season. They are atrocious. They got destroyed by Delaware in their first game. They gave up a 78 burger to Delaware, who is not very good either this season and really doesn't score much at all. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah, they gave up a 21 pace to their best player on Delaware. Okay. Yeah, give me that over. I'm cool with that. I got no qualms with it. And I believe it's moved up 3 points from that opener as well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, weird line there. I feel like people are getting cute laying it with Penn there. I'm not really in the mood to fade
That smells
Bucknell.
like a Mima game to me. I
Smells
think
like a
it's like
Bucknell is down 20 and a half and finds a way to win the second half and cover.
feels
What it
like
sounds
a
to me.
90 to 78 type game.
Oy, oy, oy. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that total keeps on moving up. Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, Canisius plus 13 and a half. That's my favorite play on the board today. Loyola Chicago, guys, I know that line's moving. I know people are getting cold feet. They're getting scared, but that is a mandatory one unit play. You got to play Loyola Chicago. I don't care if that line moves to 10. You got to put a unit on that team, barely getting any points at home after their season last year. And after we took them all time last season and they never came through in short spreads, we have to take them against FAU after their Cinderella run to the Final Four. We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And Canisius is honestly much better than people expect. But if we're looking at FAU, Loyola Chicago, you got to fucking back Sister Jean tonight, Javon. We don't have a choice. I don't care if it goes to 10. People are taking out loans to bet on the Owls tonight. And their 7-1 center, who's about to get mucked by Loyola Chicago's transfers. Okay, don't sleep on. Just wait. All right?
Maybe.
And then, yeah, Canisius and Cuse. Canisius is my favorite play of the night.
Yeah.
Has to be.
There you go. I like that.
Fade Syracuse until they show something different, until they show something good on the court. And yes, we do like Mississippi State as well. That's Javon's play. I get behind that. That was a really good pitch, honestly.
Yeah.
No Toulouse Smith. Still a weird spread. I don't care that it's moved back. It's moving back because it's probably getting confirmed that Toulouse out or something like that. I'm in. Let's see what the splits are at for Arizona State. I'm honestly curious.
I mean, they got to be Sharp. Sharp's been on injury news.
Looks like they're public. Good. On the spread, at least. 53% of bets, 68% of handle. So some big bets coming in on them, but definitely public dog, which we like to see because we know public dogs bite. Okay. Looks like this guy's got all of his financial assets on FAU tonight. That should work out well. Sure. Philip Alston was their only good player. Yeah, I know. And they've got a couple good big transfers that have come in. Doesn't Loyola kind of have the household name? I mean, after the last 2 years, if people still think that team is good, you must not have a functional brain. Because last year they were one of the worst teams I've ever seen in my life. They stink.
They do kind of still have the household name, but they're going up against like the household name now. So it's different. Say that.
Yeah. I mean, they're going up against freaking FAU, who is the Cinderella story. Like the craziest thing to happen in college basketball in the last couple of years. Crazier than St. Peter's. Nuts.
Yeah.
So I feel like more people talked about St. Peter's than they talked about FAU, though. I feel like FAU gets no respect.
I guess so. That's fair. That's fair.
We got Fat Girls Inc. dropping a 10 geyser, Javon.
Ooh.
A 10 piece. Holy smokes, Fat Girls Inc. Let's go, dudes. What are you on today, bro? What's your play today? You just gave out a 10 piece. Hold the fry. Holy smokes, Chad. If you guys are in here for the first time, drop a follow, by the way, just like Muck Killers just did. And maybe you'll get a sub-bang gift from Fat Girls Inc. What a goat. W's. Dubs. And Chad, make sure, like I talked about in the beginning, if you're not using Pickett to track your bets, grow up, figure it out. You are living under a rock. You're living in the year 1998. Okay, figure it out. Go check out Pickett. It's free to download, free to use. It's not a sports book. You track your bets, you make more money, you be more responsible, and you move. Okay, please go check it out, guys, if you haven't already. Javon, it's about that time. Let's throw together our slew of picks on this nasty Wednesday slate, and let's find it. W's. Still got to get the intro segments down here, but love to see that damn train moving and grooving. Javon, what would you say are your two favorite plays today? We got to just throw those right in there.
Honestly, the Bucknell over is for sure up there.
You like that play a lot,
my favorite play on the CBB slate. Yeah, I think
Uncle Buck.
It's gonna get up.
Penn over 144.5. Sure. Okay.
Yep.
I'm in. Can we put Canisius in this puppy?
If we can put Canisius in there, absolutely.
You gonna let me put Sister Jean in this bitch or what?
Yeah, we can put Sister Jean in there.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but I'm down to go into it.
Don't get too excited.
Yeah.
It's a must play. We'll go Sister Jean plus 6.5. We'll throw that in there. Do we go to the MAC with those two totals?
Can pick one.
You want to pick one of them?
Yeah, we can pick one of them.
I think we go Miami, Akron under.
I'm fine with that.
Their QB's out for the year too, and their defense is nice. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. Akron, Miami of Ohio, under 38.5. We've got that. We've got Loyola Chicago plus 6.5, Javon. We got Canisius plus 13.5, and we got Bucknell Penn over 144.5. How do we want to close this one out?
What about Mississippi State?
Yeah, I'm in on that.
I'd be down to go that way.
Minus 3.5.
Yeah,
Is that what they're at? Consensus?
that is. I believe
Okay.
so.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in on that. Give me the minus 3.5. Chat, we got 4 minutes to vote. Looks like that is the consensus line. Sure, hurry up, go, go, go. 5 plays, 5 winners. Get your votes in the Twitch poll. Hurry up, go, 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 go. Get your picks in. 5 plays, 5 winners. Bucknell Penn over 144.5. Canisius plus 13.5. Loyola Chicago plus 6.5. We got Akron, Miami of Ohio under 38.5. And give me Mississippi State without Toulouse Smith minus 3.5. Doesn't matter. Not going to miss them. They get it done. Andrew Taylor is going to look like Steph Curry tonight. Okay. W's. That kid thinks he's Steph Curry, straight up.
He does, bro. I'm interested to see how he's going to play tonight. It's like, I mean, he's not going to have the key. This isn't Marshall, and they're scoring 75 points a game, or more than that, but 90 points a game, damn near. So, not going to shoot 20 times, but I'm interested to hear or see what he does.
I guess my Lemoyne sell job was really good yesterday. People are angry mobbing right now in chat about that pick still, Javon. It's been an hour and a half since we started this up, and people are still bringing up Lemoyne, still living in the past, huh?
Unreal.
Couldn't be me.
I'm in the future. Almost like we didn't have a squad ride that one, too.
I'm in the future.
Crazy picture.
I'm in the future. Chat, they asked me to do something weird, and I just started throwing the ball behind my back. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I can't believe
we got Javon posted up. Yours looks way cooler than mine. Why didn't they let me do that?
Dude,
they made me do like a bunch of weird shit. They're like, throw
dude,
the ball
mine's
behind
like
your back.
Mine's like edited, like at the bottom. Like I don't know
cool.
why.
It's like TCU colors, bro.
I know, it's so funny.
It's sick. Yeah, Javon likes lively rebounds.
I
Get
do.
Ron Rivera off the fucking screen, Goots. That's where I draw the line. Not cool. We don't put him up there. We don't.
Really?
Not unless I'm yelling. You want me to start yelling again, Goots? I didn't think so. We only got 2 minutes left. We don't have time for me to yell. Okay, keep Ron out. Keep him out.
Unreal. Saw
Dude,
people.
He's the worst fucking coach I've ever seen.
Speaking of Ron Rivera, which is a crazy thing to say, I saw people asking about the cook sesh that we're going to do for the entry this week, and I believe that's going to be happening tomorrow at some points.
Yeah, I think we're doing tomorrow after Surge. Was what I was hearing.
I believe that's the plan. Yeah,
rumors are talking about a little craft sesh round 2.
Yeah, so we'll be cooking. So if anybody's coming on, if anybody wants to come on Surgical Stream in the next 2 days and give Trent some pitches with plays, feel free to do that because we will certainly be all ears for
today and tomorrow.
All hands on deck these next couple of days for some squares putting that entry.
Yep, we got to get the entry locked in by Friday, I believe. Around like 11 Eastern.
Yeah, it's Friday.
So we got to get that locked in. We want to have this pretty much confirmed, Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, and we wake up and, check the Carfax, make sure that we're good to go on Friday and we lock this puppy in. All right, chat? Definitely going to run a round 2 craft sesh stuff. We're working on it. Okay, we'll be there. It'll be tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon after the Surge stream. Okay. Javon, we get a Bucknell Penn over 144.5. You lose one bet on the Lemoyne Dolphins by 40 and people don't trust your college basketball bets anymore. Looks like it's going Bucknell and Penn and the over. I like that play. I'm in on that. Trent Super Goats, if you don't make your first Surge stream appearance and give your prop nuke for Sunday, you're soft. You're soft. Get up there. I want to see Trent Super Goats on the Surge stream today or tomorrow. You got plenty of time. No excuses. I want to see it.
Need it.
I want to see it. All right. And yeah, it's fuck MMG week. You guys already know. Okay. Short memory like a goldfish. Have to have it in the betting game. Okay. If you're still mad about the Dolphins, you might have some anger issues. So go ahead and let those out. If chirping me helps, I'm happy to help. Okay. But we move on from the Dolphins yesterday. Trust me, guys. I lost plenty on that too. Okay. Not happy about it.
Hilarious.
Nothing that Canisius plus 13.5 can't fix today.
Yep. I think we might be getting a sneak appearance from the man today.
No way we're getting G.
Possibly. I've been hearing
Rumors
rumors.
are swirling.
Been hearing
Chat.
rumors.
Stick around for the Surge stream. Starting up here in a minute. We're locking in the Penn over tonight. Check the book at BTL Twitter for the squad rides. But we've got the over in college basketball tonight in that Penn game. I'm excited for that one, Javon, and maybe G Unit showing face in the Surge stream coming up. Chat, stick around. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Javon, we'll be seeing.
We will.